A top free agent looks set to turn down WWE for AEW. A current WWE superstar could be set to leave the company, and WWE continue to erase Brock Lesnar. But first, be sure to subscribe. We have notifications turned on so you don't miss the latest pro wrestling news. And let's start with tonight's major AEW announcement, as it looks like it's just been leaked. Last week on AEW Dynamite, it was revealed that Tony Khan had another big announcement for tonight's episode of the Wednesday night show, leading to reports suggesting that this was in relation to the expected debut of Mercedes Moné, the former Sasha Banks, in WWE. Well, we now have yet another clue that suggests this is the case, as the TD Garden in Mercedes' hometown of Boston would take to their Facebook page earlier today to reveal that an upcoming taping of AEW Dynamite and Rampage will be held at the venue, seemingly confirming speculation of her arrival. Whilst this is not yet 100% confirmation that Mercedes will be part of tonight's official announcement, it seems to confirm that the announcement will be related to the Boston show, perhaps setting up a First Dance style event, much like what we saw when CM Punk made his AEW debut inside Chicago's United Center in August 2021. This leak follows a recent report from PW Insider, with one source claiming that Mercedes has been filming AEW related content, and the report notes, "The expectation from many is that Mercedes Moné is AEW bound. One source believes that Moné is signed and was filming content for AEW earlier this week for usage in relation to her debut for the company, but that was not independently confirmed." With Mercedes reportedly taking part in a filming session for All Elite Wrestling earlier this week, this could be a suggestion that she will be part of the promotional material for the aforementioned Boston show, with AEW potentially set to make a big bank statement tonight on Dynamite. And let's get to an update regarding two ongoing legal cases against WWE and AEW wrestlers. In December 2023, former WWE SmackDown Women's Champion Liv Morgan would find herself behind bars after she was arrested on charges of possession of marijuana, possession of drug equipment, and possession of drugs, possibly synthetic cannabinoid. We now have an update on the situation coming from PW Insider, who have reported that the case against the WWE star has now been closed. And they would write, WWE star Liv Morgan's criminal case in Sumter County, Florida has been officially closed. PWInsider.com can confirm. The most serious charge against Morgan, possession of drugs, possibly synthetic cannabinoid, was dropped last month because the state of Florida had no way of proving its case. The report adds that on January 31st, Morgan's attorney entered a plea of nolo contendere in regard to the possession of marijuana charge, a plea in which the defendant accepts conviction as though a guilty plea had been entered, but does not officially admit guilt. With that said, Liv Morgan isn't the only active wrestler to have found themselves in trouble with the law recently, as in August 2023, a warrant was issued for the arrest of former AEW Tag Team Champion Cash Wheeler, one half of FTR, with him later handing himself in at the station with charges of aggravated assault with a firearm being placed against him. This came after an alleged road rage incident in the state of Florida, where Wheeler is said to have flashed a gun in the direction of another driver. According to a report once again from PW Insider, unlike in the case of Liv Morgan, prosecutors have decided to move forward with the criminal charges placed against Cash, with a hearing now scheduled for February 20th. Under Florida law, a conviction of aggravated assault with a firearm could lead to up to 5 years imprisonment and a $5,000 fine, meaning this is a situation that could lead to serious punishment for the AEW star if worst comes to worst for him. And next up, let's go to the latest on the ongoing controversy surrounding The Rock and Cody Rhodes. The wrestling world would be left feeling confused and disappointed this past Friday night when Cody Rhodes seemingly handed over his chance to face Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship currently held by Roman Reigns. Instead, it seems that we're now on course to see Roman's cousin The Rock challenge for WWE's biggest prize on the grandest stage of them all, with Rhodes relegating himself to being number one contender contender for Seth Rollins' World Heavyweight Championship instead. We now have a very interesting report coming from Fightful Select that reveals some backstage information on the situation. Considering WWE have yet to officially announce either Mania title match, there's a feeling amongst the fan base that the We Want Cody movement is an elaborate work by the company to create a groundswell of support for their top full-time babyface. This theory would see Cody compete for the undisputed title at Mania, with perhaps The Rock facing Roman at Elimination Chamber, which could be why Cody said he won't be facing Roman at Mania, because he expects Rock to beat him before then. At least that's one way this could play out. In relation to the number of theories suggesting that this whole thing is an elaborate work on the fans, Fightful Select would write, while we can't speak to the grander situation and who planned what specifically, we can speak to Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, the creative team, producers, and those around them. They were not told that an elaborate, multifaceted work was the plan. As of last week, Cody Rhodes vs Seth Rollins was the direction told to creative. Prior to the Royal Rumble, CM Punk vs Seth Rollins was the active plan and was relayed to Punk himself. So if there was a work at play, it didn't involve those parties ahead of the Royal Rumble, so it would have been a work on them as well. This does not answer the why as it relates to Cody winning the Royal Rumble. As we've heard the day of the Rumble, several in creative were told The Rock versus Roman Reigns was the plan, and merchandise had been produced to promote it. Fightful would then reveal that a meeting took place on January 1st and many more since that had indicated that Cody Rhodes vs Roman Reigns was still the plan for Mania, and up until the week prior to the Royal Rumble, no other parties that they've heard from were made aware that this had changed. With that said, a select group of people were then informed that the direction had changed during Royal Rumble weekend. In regard to the backlash WWE have received from fans since the apparent switch, it's said that Cody himself had predicted such a reaction, and Fightful would write, those that we spoke to claimed that Cody Rhodes expressed to WWE that he thought the reaction wouldn't be the desired one, but still did the segment, and was said to have been in a somber mood after. Other sources claim that this decision goes all the way up to Ari Emanuel and Mark Shapiro, and was even above Nick Khan and Triple H. The report would also touch on the relationship between The Rock and Cody, as well as what was said during their brief exchange in the ring during Friday's segment, and it would add, the segment went down and featured The Rock and Cody Rhodes shaking hands. We haven't been able to find out what The Rock said to Cody Rhodes verbatim, but have learned it was something in reference to their fathers. We've long heard that The Rock and Cody maintained a great relationship for years. What we do know is that WWE are currently in the process of filming a follow-up to the Peacock American Nightmare documentary, and that cameras have been following Rhodes around as of late. We also know that WWE are heavily monitoring the ongoing fan reaction to the situation, and that options are being discussed moving forward. The report also confirms that, at least according to those that they've heard from, the We Want Cody signs from this Monday's episode of Raw were produced by fans themselves, and no such signs have been mandated from within the company. With that said, WWE is said to have no plans of shying away from the controversy, so make of that what you will. And next, Brian Pillman's estate have officially signed a deal with WWE. Former WCW and WWE star Brian Pillman is considered one of the true trailblazers of professional wrestling, having a habit of blurring the lines between fiction and reality to create a unique aura that we've rarely seen replicated since. It appears that WWE is set to honor Pillman's legacy going forward, as his daughter Brittany Pillman Evans would take to Instagram this week to reveal that her family have obtained the rights to her father's legacy, before adding that they have officially signed an agreement with WWE, and she would write, I never thought I would see this day, but after 27 long years, my siblings and I finally own the rights to our father's legacy. I just want to say thank you to all the fans for keeping my father's name alive. This is all because of you, and thanks to WWE for making this happen. Stay tuned for new merch coming soon. Whilst we have seen Brian Pillman merchandise and figures produced by non-WWE related companies such as Pro Wrestling Tees and Zombie Sailor over recent years, it looks like his image will now be used exclusively in WWE products going forward. This means we can now expect Brian Pillman appearances in future Mattel action figure lines and even WWE 2K video games, as well as many more officially licensed WWE products. Next up, a top free agent looks set to turn down WWE in favor of AEW. At the beginning of 2024, former NWA Women's Champion Camille would hit the free agency market after her contract with the National Wrestling Alliance came to an end. Since then, reports have emerged that revealed WWE had heavy interest in the 31-year-old star, with there said to have been a contract offer on the table for her to join the NXT brand, although her presence backstage at a recent taping of AEW Dynamite brought on speculation of a competing offer. With that said, PW Insider have provided an update on the situation, as Camille is no longer expected to sign for WWE and is instead more likely to become All Elite in the near future, and they would report. Former NWA Women's Champion Camille at this time is no longer expected to be WWE bound. While there had been interest, and according to one WWE source in the past, had been offered an NXT deal, discussions are not moving forward. Camille has been in deep discussions with AEW, and it has been seen as a stronger destination for her, as it would allow her to pursue another major personal goal moving forward: additional acting work. In regard to her acting work, Camille is set to portray the role of June Byers in an upcoming biopic centered around the life of legendary wrestler Mildred Burke, with this being a career path that she seeks to explore even further in the future, something that a deal with WWE would likely prevent due to their heavier schedule. And speaking of the wrestling free agency market, a current WWE superstar could be set to leave the company. Ever since being moved back down to NXT in November 2022, Dijak has taken on a prominent role on the Black and Gold brand, with him now coming off the back of a big win over Joe Gacy at NXT Vengeance Day, a win secured under no disqualification rules. With that said, we can now add him to the growing list of names whose WWE deals would expire in the year of 2024, this according to a fresh report from Fightful Select. Fightful Select have revealed that the former T-Bar is one of the many names to have signed a new WWE deal in 2019, shortly after the creation of All Elite Wrestling, and they would write, "A prominently featured NXT talent's WWE contract is up in a few months. Fightful Select has learned that Dijak's WWE contract is up in June of 2024. The year will see tons of WWE deals coming due, as many signed 5-year deals in 2019 after the formation of AEW. It remains to be seen if WWE have any intention of tying Dijak down to a longer deal, or if the plan is to let him become a free agent this summer." Next up, WWE continue to erase Brock Lesnar. The recent lawsuit filed against Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and WWE would have a lasting impact on the wrestling landscape, leading to Vince resigning from his role as chairman of TKO Group Holdings, with it also leading to plans for a Brock Lesnar return at this year's Royal Rumble being scrapped. This follows apparent references to Lesnar in the lawsuit itself. Since then, we've also seen Lesnar's removal from the WWE 2K Supercard mobile game, with it now impossible to pull fresh Brock Lesnar cards from packs, and it seems this mandate has also stretched to the upcoming release of WWE 2K24. Upon the initial announcement of the game in January, Brock would be one of the many names featured on the cover of the 40 Years of WrestleMania edition. However, the latest trailer for the game, released earlier this week, shows that Lesnar has now been removed from the cover entirely, with John Cena instead taking on a more prominent position in the artwork. It remains to be seen if Lesnar's removal is a sign that he's been taken out of the game entirely, something that would be a tough ask so close to the release date, given his expected heavy involvement in the 40 Years of WrestleMania mode itself, with WWE or 2K yet to address the situation in an official capacity. And before you go, make sure you check out my predictions for every wrestler that will be removed from WWE 2K24.